Welcome to the Bravo Charlie Club, episode 001. By listening to the Bravo Charlie Club, you'll be 12.5 minutes more awesome each week. Ben, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back. Why do I say thanks for having me? I'm not a guest. It's us, isn't it?
It's okay, we can
Some
edit
of the
that out in post.
some listener feedback suggested that I might have been a guest. Yeah, it's good to be here, and thanks to all the listeners who've given feedback this week. We'll get down to listener feedback later, but let's kick it off, Richard, with a very topical thing. What opened your eyes this week? What have you seen?
No, we just said. Yeah, thanks for the listener feedback this week. Some people wanted me to go a bit deeper into AI. Yeah, so I thought I'd just sort of talk about the four levels of AI you're likely to come across in using it sort of day to day. The first level is just generally the prompt window when you go into ChatGPT or Claude or something like that. You sort of have that text box that you type your prompts into. That's just working directly with the large language model. So that's kind of like the basic level, I guess. From there, you've got fine-tuned models, and you can use the APIs to sort of send information into the model so that you can get responses that are customized a bit or a bit more tailored to what you're doing. So if you're using models to generate content for websites or posts for social media, that sort of thing, then you can tune it to your brand, your tone of voice, that sort of thing. On top of that, there is assistants. Assistants can go out into the internet, collate information, and then sort of synthesize it down for you. Travel itineraries. It's not actually bookings, but it can go down and pull the information in to make an itinerary for you. And then sort of the top level is agents, or the most advanced level. And that's where the agents are actually going out onto the internet doing things for you, like actually booking flights or other sorts of things.
Wow.
So yeah.
Large language models is probably where the majority of listeners are playing.
Yep.
The fine tuning is more very specific project work by the sounds of things, and the assistants and agents is really next level. Like how scared should I be of an agent booking a flight for me? Like I am very passionate about getting a good deal on the right flight and leg room and all that sort of stuff. Like how capable are these guys and girls who we're entrusting?
I think we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, I think, but getting pretty close. Yeah, you can literally have the AI take over your computer, and you can watch the cursor running around doing things, interacting with apps and sorts of things like that. Over the next 6 months, we'll see some pretty amazing stuff coming out, in that sort of space. So getting close.
I won't say that you're not making me nervous. I don't need the cursor to be running around on my screen. Usually that means something's gone very, very wrong, or I've let someone dial in and access my computer again. Uncomfortable being comfortable about AI at the moment.
Yeah, it's
happy to sit in that space.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The next 6 months, we're only just a few kilometers into the marathon on this one. It's got a long way to go. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of using AI to book travel, that sort of segues quite neatly into the travel tip of the week.
Yes, travel tip of the week, Ben.
Yeah, and an ultra popular section from last week. There was a lot of feedback. I've been referred to as Hugh by a number of people, which I quite appreciate.
Nice.
So I'll take that assimilation. This week, I'd like to talk about bidding on upgrades.
Yeah.
When you book an economy fare, from time to time, your chosen carrier will send you an offer to bid for an upgrade into business class. And I'm very fortunate. I usually fly towards the front of the plane and get some leg room anyway, but flying business class from time to time is a bit of fun. And here's how I unpack that. I've got a theory that everyone wants a cheap deal, and they'll put in the minimum bid to get on the page.
Yeah.
My theory is to put $5 more than the minimum. And this is no guarantees. This doesn't happen every time. But just recently, I put in a bid $5 above the minimum from Melbourne to Brisbane and flew home business class.
Oh, nice.
What can happen, the bidding on upgrades works, and it's a lovely little perk. And, if you've got a couple of extra dollars, the difference between an economy and a business class flight is much more than what I paid. And, it's a nice little perk. So there you
So
are.
how does it work? You put your bid on. How long before the plane takes off do you find out if you've got it?
I
And what
think it's
happens
like
if you've checked in or something?
24 hours.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you would know before you got to the airport if you've been upgraded. I think this one, it was the morning of. But you can check in, even if you check in online. I think they'll still upgrade you if you're the successful bidder.
yeah.
So I tend to check in as soon as the email comes so I can remove it from my inbox. Inbox zero is a good topic that we could cover another time.
Inbox zero, yeah. Well, there we go. Travel tip of the week. I think it's good. I'm going to give it a try next time I fly, which is tomorrow. And conundrum of the week, Ben.
Huge on the conundrum of this week, which, if you've seen them, and we're talking about travel again, this is not a travel podcast, but there's a theme happening here. In public bathrooms, tend to be in airports, the Dyson AirBlade rinse dry unit.
Is that? That's not the one you put your hands in, is it?
No,
That's not that.
it's not the one you put your hands in. It looks like a T-bar, and yet the water comes out the middle, and then you put your hands to the left and right so that the air comes down. I put it to you, this is the fifth most terrifying thing on the planet. Right behind the eastern brown snake, which is the fourth most poisonous snake in the world.
What's happening with it?
Well, if you think about it, so you've got a sink, the water has come down, you've washed your hands.
Yeah.
The very next thing you're asked to do by Dyson, bless them, is to move your hands very minutely to the left and right and direct a Dyson jet of air at your hands into the sink where the water has just been dispensed. It can only go one way.
It's going back out all over you, isn't it?
It can only go one way. So I put it to you, if you watch guys walking out of the public bathrooms at an airport, they'll be just washing their hands on
drying their hands on their shirts and their pants.
No one is using these. Thank goodness for COVID that we've got all these sanitizer dispensers out and about, and you can actually at least give your hands a freshen up, because no one is using these things. Dyson, please do better.
It reminds me actually of at headquarters in Melbourne. They have these lovely, very swish consoles in the bathroom with water on one side, the sort of soap dispenser in the middle, and then the dryer. And you just kind of like move your hands, put your hands under the water, you get some soap, you move your hands back. But when you move your hands too quickly down to dry them after you've sort of like rinsed them, you go kind of past the soap sort of sensor, and then the dryer comes on and blows all the soap coming out all around the bathroom.
You've had the worst experience. At least I'm only getting water dispensed onto me. You're getting a soap shower.
Well, it doesn't really go on you. It just all ends up on the bench and in the basin, and you just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here.
You'd think that there'd be a product testing that they could do for these kinds of things. I don't know. It's just something I came up with. I'm sure there's a way. So help me solve that one. Listener feedback. The conundrum of the week, for those who haven't yet checked out the episode, was can you do someone else's jigsaw puzzle? And we came up with a very neat solution. You came up with a very neat solution, Richard.
I thought it was neat.
Yeah, it was there. A very passionate person has written in. Before I start, an amateur jigsaw puzzler is known as a dissectologist, Richard. Did you know that?
No, I didn't actually. I'm surprised about the term dissectologist, because I would assume it would be like a symbolologist or something like that. The whole dissecting thing, that seems to be the easy part.
Yeah, fair call.
That I'm good at. Not
fair call.
Anyway,
that's conundrum of the week next week, already solved. Look, this passionate dissectologist has written in and quite obstinately refuted your offer that someone else could do their puzzle. And the passion was around the fact that in the jigsaw puzzling world, as it may be, sorting the edges is obviously a common thing. Everyone makes the frame of a jigsaw before they put it together. But then putting the shadings, if it's a house with bricks, or if it's sky with blue, or a field of green, putting those shadings and assorting those, and even assorting whether it's a innie outie or a H, or the difference. There's a theory behind it. And I think what they were basically suggesting to me was that the pre-work that you do when you're doing a jigsaw is actually almost as important than the assembling of the jigsaw puzzle themselves. I did ask them if that meant that the person who sealed the wall in the Sistine Chapel and the ceiling in the Sistine Chapel had done as important work as Michelangelo, who painted it. No response.
No response. It's a fair point, I think. It's just good feedback.
Hello at bravocharlie.club. Well, we read every message. We even action some of them. So please, one user complained about the lighting I used in the first episode, in the pilot episode. So hopefully that's been noticed. Well, that's it. Our listeners have been BCC'd on our week, Richard. Look forward to the next time.
Fantastic. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
That's the pod.